right, and down here at the bottom left-hand corner of the map is our Protoss player from the Team Startail. He doesn't want to be in this IRC channel anymore, so he is... You like that one?
I'm not even commentating on that one.
Keldor's over here chuckling, trying not to... Anyway.
At the top right, ladies and gentlemen, we have his opponent, the Protoss in the blue. It is... Yeah, the voice needs to be a little bit more energetic. It's not like Killer. No, this is Killer.
That's right. Sorry, I said I was going to do the voice this time, but I forgot to. I apologize, but...
I was actually waiting for you to jump in.
Alright. Who... never mind, it's too late. I was going to do it later on, but... It's okay. We know who he is. He's been around for a long time. He is not the Zerg from... Where is the other killer from? Is he from Peru or something? No.
I'm not 100% sure. No, he's not from Peru, but something like that.
I'll look it up.
Dignitas player?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Zerg player, but not to be mistaken with the Korean killer. This is the Protoss, and this is the PvP. And yeah, I really like to see a killer go to Codes, but PartinG, it's just so nice to have some kind of an underdog, just, well, doing so well in a tournament like that. I always rooting a little bit for the underdog, but Killer is just such a great player. And his PvP was a little bit off. The last game was pretty convincing.
Yeah, no, he did really well. And although, you know, I think that game did come down to the missed micro by PartinG. That fail blink, you know, where he like tried to blink out of the base and left 4 or 5 stalkers behind and they just died. He did pretty well up until that point, but that was a pretty big mistake to make. PartinG is just on 1 gas still. Killer going ahead and getting his 2nd gas. So sort of similar here to the previous game. And Zealot's going to go ahead and chase that probe around in circles. We often hear Tastosis talk about this as well, that in PvP, you kind of don't know really what's going to happen until that probe dies, until the stalker comes out, because you can't show your tech to your opponent.
The other killer player is, by the way, from Chile. It's not Peru,
okay.
It's Chile.
Sorry about that.
And we have a Stargate going for the Phoenixes. Killer is building a Stargate. And we have PartinG. PartinG at 20 probes is cutting probe production. Just for now, his supply blocked. So let's see if he continues building probes after that pylon. But I actually doubt it. We have the warp in pylon already going to be scouted by that Stalker.
Oh, no, he turns back.
He missed it.
What?
How did he miss that?
He turned away. I guess maybe he saw PartinG stalkers approaching and wanted to make sure he got it back to defend or something, but yeah, did not see that. That pylon is not the closest pylon ever, but it's definitely close enough that it's going to be able to warp things in.
Killer is
relatively close.
Killer's getting a sentry, so he can block the ramp, but we have him with the Stargate. He's getting 2 additional gateways.
Get the 2nd pylon.
PartinG.
There's the 2nd pylon. Force field goes down, though. And it's at the base of the ramp, so he cannot get up vision if he keeps force fielding there.
He is not ready to get a second sentry, and he's getting up there. There is no warp gate technology, no way to warp in the additional sentry. Now he's blinking on the high ground. This looks horrible for Killer. PartinG in such a good position, can warp his units, and there's the GG. Killer loses game number 2. PartinG ties the series.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when your warp gate tech is 15 seconds behind the other Protoss player.
Killer was just not able to get that 2nd sentry in order to force field the ramp. And as soon as PartinG had vision of the high ground, that game was over. The first warp in hit the former player from TASL, and then
that's all there was to it. He didn't have his gateways up. He'd actually got a really good timing on his build, such that his 2 extra gateways and his Stargate were going to finish about the same time that Warp Gate Tech finished for him. But PartinG, like you said, cut probes again to get that Warp Gate Tech out a little bit earlier. Well, actually, I'm not sure if the cutting the probes was part of that exactly, but point being, he cut a little bit to try and get that out really, really fast, and just caught him right before he could do anything about it.
Yep, Killer was going for that Phoenix play, and that was not also that successful, but it basically came down to that scouting. If that Stalker would have seen the pylon, he could have killed it,
that
could
have
have delayed it. Just delayed a little bit, and he would have been able to react against it. It was a tough situation he was in anyways, but, well, like that, he didn't have a chance at all. As soon as PartinG built those 2 pylons and he had only 1 sentry, no warp gate tag, the game was basically over.
Yeah, exactly, because he would have had to warp in extra sentries to keep force fielding that ramp ball. He got something else out to deal with that.
He pulled some probes just to block the ramp, but they weren't there in time and couldn't deal with the army of his opponent.
Well, he also didn't really micro at all there for some reason. He pulled probes, and then he left his Stalker there getting hit by the enemy units and didn't actually use the probes to block for anything. That was kind of strange.
As soon as the warping on the high ground started, it was over, and Killer knew it. Now we are going to see the 3rd map, and this is going to be Calm Before the Storm, ladies and gentlemen. Killer against PartinG Protoss versus Protoss here at the GSL.